Hello, Michael Swain here after Kansas football's 40-14 loss to Texas on the road. And that was an ugly game for Kansas. Obviously, I think the first thing you're probably wondering is what's going on with Jalen Daniels. Well, we just wrapped up our post-game press conference with Lance Leipold, and this is a pretty worst-case scenario story for KU in terms of this specific game. Long-term, we'll have to see what happens with Jalen Daniels and the back injury. But all week, Jalen Daniels practiced. He got the first team reps. Everything was trending towards him being Kansas' starter here in Austin today. Then this morning, he re-aggravates the back injury, which he had back in preseason camp. It's why he missed the season opener. And basically, KU gets to the stadium. They're going to try and loosen it up. They worked on it all pregame, and then basically Jason Bean said 30 minutes before kickoff, he got word he's the man, he's starting. Can't ask for any worse situation for an offense to spend all week working with one quarterback for a game plan and then put in a quarterback like Jason Bean, who, let's be honest, is not Jalen Daniels. They have similar skill sets. Jason Bean has his own strengths, but he is not Jalen Daniels. And so that from the get-go made things really hard. And as a result, you saw the offense really have no consistency whatsoever. The Texas defense, I thought, really got after KU in the second half, specifically once they realized that, KU really wasn't going to be able to throw the ball. And look, Bean looked like a guy who took second-team reps and mental reps all week. He wasn't sharp. Completes 9 of his 21 passes for 136 yards. I believe 58 or 54 of those came on that deep bomb to Trevor Wilson. So take away, one completion. So it's 8 completions, 8 for 20 for less than 100 yards. Just not good enough, and you have to feel for Bean considering the circumstances. On the other end, I thought KU's defense did enough in some spots. It wasn't good enough over the course of the game. Obviously, you look at the rushing yard total, 336 rushing yards. And look, this is a Texas team that is the number 3 team in the country for a reason. They're going to go to the college football playoff. This is a really good team. It's a team that made Alabama look small in the trenches as well earlier this year. So it was no shock that KU wore down over the course of the game. The defense spent 40 minutes on the field. That's just not sustainable, and that comes as a consequence of KU's offense. But, I thought through periods the defense did okay. There were a couple third downs there where they were able to get off the field, force field goals. Texas kicker had a terrible game, missed 2 kicks. And those are some of the breaks that you'd think that if Jalen Daniels is KU's quarterback in this game, does it go differently? I don't know, right? It's college football. If we play this game 5 times, I don't know if Texas kicker is going to go miss 2 kicks, I don't know. But I know that this is a performance that kind of was compounding, is probably the right word. The offense did not have the rhythm because the starting quarterback wasn't out there. As a result, they had a lot of 3-and-outs against a good Texas defense. So the defense for KU was out on the field longer than you want against a physical Texas offense that has weapons at every single position. So for me, it's just one of those. You chalk it up. You played a really good team. Texas, again, is going to go and win a lot of games this year. For KU, it's going to be about how does Jalen Daniels look this week? Can they get him back, right? It's a question of how bad is the back re-aggravation, because I think if you've been around the KU program long enough, Jalen Daniels is a gamer and that he would want to go out there and play. He played the Illinois game with still that tightness lingering, and you could see it at times when he was getting up off the field. He wants to play. So he must have been in some serious discomfort, pain, and the doctors didn't feel comfortable with him playing for him not to go today, especially, in this stadium, in this atmosphere, because this was a big game for Texas, probably one of their biggest home games they'll have all season. It was a ranked opponent. But for KU, it's all about Jalen Daniels and his health. UCF comes into town next week. They're a team that really struggles against the run. You'd think KU should be able to get right against that in terms of getting your offense back on track. For the defense, look, I think you still saw some improvement. I thought there were times where the defensive line was able to get after the quarterback. They were able to get some penetration. Austin Booker looks like a real player. Man, he looks like an NFL player. Like 2 games of production against Big 12 opponents, he's been really, really good. I think generally the defense has the guys to be able to make it work. They've just got to play together, and they can't be on the field for 40 minutes. So just one of those where it's a weird game. It's college football, right? These games are going to happen, but I think the long-term outlook for the season, I don't think this changes much of my thought, unless we're looking at Jalen Daniels missing extended period of time. But judging from the vibes post-game, it didn't seem like that's really the thought. They're going to reassess this week and hope Jalen's good to go, and then they're going to try and go beat UCF. So, of course, we'll have post-game coverage. If you're watching this video, make sure you go check out the Lance Leipold video. Thought he'd give some really good thoughts about just the game in Texas and everything in general. And, of course, check out fog.net. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, every day. Plenty of Kansas content, Kansas football coverage, both premium, free, everything you ask for. So thanks as always for watching, and we'll talk to you all on Sunday night or Monday for a podcast. Kevin and I have to figure that out, but we'll talk to you again pretty soon with some more in-depth thoughts.